think I'm still in the dreaming end. So we probably need to clear the air a little bit. There's been a lot of talk about Jesus. Some of you might be confused that have I gone to a Christian church? And the answer is no, you have not. And you might say, well, how is this possible that you talk so much about Jesus and you're not Christians? And by way of explanation, I like to use Jesus' real name, which was Yeshua ben Joseph. And what this is about is, as Maggie read, Eric Butterworth spoke often about the religion about Jesus, which is what most of Christianity is, and the religion of Jesus. You see, Yeshua was actually a nice Jewish boy from Palestine. It was never his intention to start a whole new religion. Those who came after him did that. And what happened is what always happens, is that the message of the avatar gets lost in all the stuff that gets piled on, and the doctrines, and the disputes. You may not know this, but at the Council of Nicaea in the 4th century AD, the books that actually made it into the Bible were decided as the result of a fist fight. And that is historical fact. So we have to take this with a grain of salt. And what my own personal take on this is that I find the message of Yeshua, the way of living that he taught, extremely powerful. And I buy into Eric Butterworth's interpretation completely. In fact, I have to fess up, Discover the Power Within, the topic today, comes from Eric Butterworth's book, Discover the Power Within You. And I've read it probably 6 or 7 times in the last 20 years. It's an enormously powerful book, and that's what we're going to talk about this morning. Because the reason it's powerful and the reason that it makes a difference is that it's up to you to realize that within you is this divine spark. We often call it the Christ. We sang the song, I behold the Christ in you. Maggie made reference to Paul's statement, Christ in you, your hope of glory. And that's really what we're talking about, because in each one of you is the Christ. The kingdom of heaven, as Yeshua called it. Same thing, divine spark. And you might be surprised to learn, and maybe not, that this concept has been reaffirmed in modern day. If you've ever paid any attention to A Course in Miracles, A Course in Miracles teaches, and by the way, Yeshua was the author of A Course in Miracles, teaches that each one of us is simply an idea in the mind of God, and we've never left that. That is what we are. We are individual expressions of divinity, each one of us. And if you've ever read any of Neil Donald Waltz's work in the Conversations with God series, he suggests exactly the same thing. You are God expressing as you. You and God meet at the point of your expression. And so, what's critical is that we must grab a hold of this idea and start practicing it. You are it. You are what you've been looking for. You are the one. Not that one, but you. You are it. There's a wonderful, unattributable remark. We don't know who wrote it, but it goes like this. Know this, O man, the sole root of sin is in thee, is not to know thine own divinity. Sure. Know this, O man, mankind, the sole root of sin in thee is not to know thine own divinity. And Yeshua said, and it's recorded in the scriptures, is it not written in your law, I said, ye are gods? And indeed, you can find that in the Old Testament. That particular remark comes from John 10:34, in the New Testament. And much of the world has hung, and this is the religion about Jesus, has hung their hat on John 3:16. Maggie read it. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. And that changes completely when you buy into Meister Eckhart's notion that God didn't create just one Son, didn't begot just one. God is continuously begetting consciously, because each one of us has within us that divine God spark. And that's so powerful if you can wrap your arms around it and start acting as though that were the case. And the critical point of this is that it's up to you. No one can act for you in this regard. Only you have control over the thoughts that you allow to find a home in your mind. Only you can act as if you were God expressing as you. That's all there is to it. Yeshua became the Christ because he made this great discovery. He made the discovery that the I am dwells within him. And he became so tied into that notion that eventually we could not tell where Yeshua left off and Christ took over. And so he became Yeshua, the Christ. And each one of us has that same potential. The same potential. And the reason that we know this is because in John 14:12, Yeshua says, those who believe as I do will do the works that I do, and even greater works than these shall you do. It's right there in the New Testament. It couldn't be clearer. How in the world are we supposed to perform miracles? Well, you perform those miracles by believing that you are it, that you have within you that divine spark. the Christ Spirit, the Christ consciousness. And this is all about consciousness. It's what you believe about yourself. It's what you believe about the way the universe works. Because that's what is required in order for you to start being the expression of God at the point of you. The Course in Miracles confirms it. Neil Donald Walsh confirms it. Any one of a number of sources confirm that we are divinity, each one of us. And how in the world do you start practicing? Well, I like to draw on the wisdom of the 12-step tables. And there's one that's perfect. And it goes like this. Fake it till you make it. Start acting as if you were God, being God at the point of you. In the Monday Night Course group, we read from a book called The Way of Mastery. And in it, Yeshua suggests that you spend 5 minutes every day, just 5 minutes, just contemplating, just being the Christ. Be that, just for 5 minutes a day. Practice that. And, it's you get there the same way you get to Carnegie Hall. Practice, practice, practice. Because there's no other way. You are responsible. You are in charge of your mind. Really, you are in charge of your mind. No one else. God does not seek to change your mind. God invites you to be all that you can be, to be the expression of divinity that you actually are, but you don't know. And that's why we're continuously talking about being the divinity that you are. I'm going to share with you a little quote that Eric Butterworth has in his book, Discover the Power Within You. So, Yeshua actually talked about the divinity of man, and that was what his point was. And Butterworth says, we must see Yeshua turning to his fellow beings, including you and me, and saying, come and sit with me for a while, and let me help you to see as I see, to feel the depth of the Spirit in you as I have felt it within me. Let me show you the way, the high road to your own Mount Olympus. Let me lead you into the wonderful world of the Christ within you, where you will know and know that you are a limitless expression of the infinite. And I can assure you that when you realize the truth as I have realized it, you will be able to do all the things that I have done, and even greater things will we do. Can you imagine actually having that conversation with Yeshua? And I promise you that Yeshua is readily available right this moment. And I guarantee you that he does not care whether or not you call yourself a Christian, or whether or not you call yourself an atheist or a Buddhist or anything else. The one thing that I know about Yeshua is that he is not playing golf in Bermuda. His presence is actually here in this room because we're all one. And he completely understands how difficult it is for us who have grown up in a world that teaches just exactly the opposite of our own divinity to wrap our arms around this concept. He understands completely that it's so completely foreign to most of us that you have great difficulty actually believing it. But it is the truth. And Yeshua was often heard to say, the truth will set you free. I often add the parenthetical remark that the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. Because you say, why didn't I know this sooner? How come? I've been railroaded by people I trusted, people that I thought knew what they were talking about. So, all I can tell you is, when the student is ready, the teacher shows up. And all that is to say, it doesn't matter. It simply doesn't matter that you have lived all this time without knowing this. It doesn't matter, because now you have the opportunity to take this concept into your heart, into the depths of your being, and start faking it until you make it. You can do this. That's what we're called to do. And when we do this, the whole world changes. The energy of the whole world changes as a direct result of elevating our consciousness. The great David Hawkins, a student of human consciousness, who was knighted for his work in human consciousness, who has both a PhD and an MD degree behind his name, and was often introduced as Sir Dr. David Hawkins, says flat out, the single most important thing that any being can do for the good of the universe, for the good of the whole planet, is to raise your own consciousness. Now that's an important key. So what's important is that you, each one of you, take this message into your heart, believe it, and spend 5 minutes a day just abiding as the Christ which you are. Just do it. And tell me the difference it makes. Tell me next week. If you come tomorrow night to the Course in Miracles, you can tell me tomorrow night. So just do it. Like Smokey the Bear says, only you can determine the thoughts that find a home in your mind. Now it's open mic time. Lisa.